Have you ever heard of a smart bomb for medicine? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're talking about monoclonal antibodies, and honestly, they might be one of the biggest game changers in modern medicine, period. And, calling it a revolution, that's really not an exaggeration. These things, these engineered proteins, are now the largest class of modern biotherapeutics out there. They're totally changing the game for how we treat everything from cancer to autoimmune diseases.
So here's the plan. We're going to break down what these things actually are, how they're built. Then we'll follow one on its crazy journey through the body. We'll look at all the different missions they can go on and what happens when the body decides to fight back. It's going to be fascinating.
All right, let's jump right in. Section 1. Medicine's engineered antibodies. To really get what these drugs are, you first have to understand where they come from. And the answer is, well, it's us. It's our own immune system.
Okay, so what in the world is a monoclonal antibody? People call them MABs for short. Think of it like this. Your body is constantly making millions of different soldiers, antibodies, to fight off all kinds of invaders. What scientists do is find the one Navy SEAL of antibodies, the absolute best one for a specific job, and then they clone it. They make millions and millions of identical copies in a lab. So what you get is this massive elite army of proteins, all with one single-minded mission. Find this one specific target and take it out.
Now, if you're going to build a super soldier, you need a good blueprint, right? A solid foundation. So scientists looked inside our own bodies and picked our number one defender, immunoglobulin G, or IgG for short. This is our body's natural workhorse. It's the most common, most stable antibody we have. It's basically the perfect, reliable chassis to build these designer drugs on. Okay, so this is where it gets really cool. Let's look at the anatomy of one of these smart bombs. The absolute genius of this molecule is its design. It's built to do two completely different but totally critical jobs at the same time.
And here it is, that classic Y shape we were just talking about. It looks simple, but this shape is the secret to everything. You've got the two arms at the top of the Y, and then you have the single stem at the bottom. Two key parts.
And this is where the engineering is just brilliant. Those two arms, they're called the Fab fragment. Think of them as the drug's GPS system. They are painstakingly engineered to do just one thing: find and lock on to a very specific target, like a protein on a cancer cell. Then you have the stem, the FC fragment. That's the radio. So once the GPS locks onto the target, bam, the radio sends out a distress signal, calling in the cavalry, your own immune cells, to come and destroy whatever it's latched onto. GPS and a radio, all in one molecule. It's amazing.
All right, so we get how they're built. But what happens when you actually put one of these things into a person? Their journey inside the body is, well, it's nothing like a simple pill like aspirin. It's a whole different world.
And that brings up a question you might be wondering yourself. If these drugs are so incredible, why can't you just, take one as a pill? Why all the hassle with IVs and injections?
Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. They're proteins, and on a molecular level, they are huge. If you tried to swallow one, your stomach acid wouldn't know the difference between this fancy drug and a bite of steak. It would just digest it, break it down completely. The medicine would never even make it to your bloodstream.
So because they have to be injected, they take a really unique path. They get absorbed super slowly through your lymphatic system, and once they're in the blood, they're so big they pretty much just hang out in the plasma. And getting rid of them, your kidneys can't handle it. The cleanup process is way more complicated than for a typical small drug.
But this is probably one of their most mind-blowing features: how long they stick around. Most drugs are in and out of your system in a matter of hours. These things can last for weeks. We're talking a typical half-life of around 21 days. So the big question is, how is that even possible?
The secret is this amazing natural recycling program our cells have, called the FcRn salvage pathway. See, your body doesn't want to waste its own precious antibodies, so it has a system to save them. When a cell was about to destroy an old antibody, this special receptor, FcRn, acts like a hero. It grabs the antibody, protects it, and throws it back into the bloodstream to keep fighting. It's a rescue mission. And because scientists built these drugs on that same IgG chassis, they get to piggyback on this exact same recycling system. It's an ingenious hack, and that's the reason patients can get a dose just once every couple of weeks or even once a month.
Okay, quick recap. We know what they are, how they're built like a GPS and a radio, and how they cheat death by getting recycled. So now let's look at all the different jobs we can give them, because this platform is incredibly versatile.
You can program these things to do so many different things. They can act like a homing beacon, tagging bad cells for destruction. They can be saboteurs, blocking the don't eat me signals that cancer cells use to hide, which basically takes the brakes off your own immune system. They can starve a tumor by cutting off its blood supply. Or they can even play traffic cop, stopping immune cells from going to places they shouldn't, which is huge for treating autoimmune diseases.
And the most famous mission of all right now? That's got to be checkpoint inhibition. You've probably heard of these game-changing cancer drugs, pembrolizumab, nivolumab. Here's the wild part. They don't attack the cancer at all. Nope. What they do is they block the off switches on your own immune cells. See, cancer is smart. It learned how to press those off switches to stay hidden. These drugs just block that from happening. The result? Your own immune system is unleashed, and it finally sees and attacks the tumor. This one idea has completely changed the face of cancer therapy.
But, and there's always a but, right? When you're dealing with something this powerful, something that messes with the immune system directly, you're going to have some unique challenges. The biggest one? Sometimes your own body sees this life-saving medicine as an enemy and decides to fight back.
The technical term for this is immunogenicity. It's a mouthful, but all it means is the drug can provoke an immune response against itself. Your body basically says, hey, I don't recognize you, and starts making its own antibodies to attack the drug. They're literally called anti-drug antibodies, or ADAs.
So what happens if your body starts making these ADAs? Well, two things mainly. The most common one is the drug just stops working. The ADAs either neutralize it on the spot, or they get it cleared out of your system way too fast. Sometimes you can also get infusion reactions where your body is literally attacking the medicine as it's going into your vein.
And even if the body doesn't attack the drug, remember, we're revving up the immune system on purpose. That can have consequences all over the body. The side effects, what doctors call immune-related adverse events, can look a lot like autoimmune diseases. I mean, if you take the brakes off the immune system to go after cancer, you might also get inflammation in your skin, your gut, your lungs, pretty much anywhere. It means doctors have had to learn a whole new playbook for managing these patients.
So where's this all going? Well, these drugs used to be a last-ditch effort, something you'd try when nothing else worked. Not anymore. Now they're becoming the first-line, go-to treatment. We're even seeing them used in a preventative way, giving them the patients after surgery to make sure the cancer never even has a chance to come back. They are becoming absolutely central to modern medicine.
And that really leaves us with a big question to think about. There's no doubt that monoclonal antibodies are a giant leap forward. But the smarter our medicine gets, the more targeted and powerful it becomes, the more complex the side effects and the challenges become. So I guess the real question for all of us is, as we develop these incredible new tools, how do we make sure we learn to use them with the wisdom and care that they demand?